Hey guys, Hamsterwheel Gaming here with a new video, and welcome to episode 3 of Unusual Specs. Today, we're gonna tackle the Arcane Frost Mage. That's right, I usually talked about a mage being Arcane or Deep Fire, but today, we're gonna see if Arcane Frost is actually decent or that it's pretty much garbage. As always, I'm gonna start with one of my own characters first, and I'm gonna move on to the smaller fort server to get a mage with tier 5. And see what kind of damage I can do with that. But for now, let's focus on my own mage. You might have seen this mage in a few other videos. He's called Smoke and Trees. Very random name, I know. And right now, obviously I'm Arcane Frost spec. I have 874 damage with frost spells. And almost 20% crit chance. So that's not too bad. Normally my gear is on par with heroics, but I'm guessing this gear is on par with Karazhan. I mean, I have a few Karazhan items, such as this one. This one is really cool for frost spells. Grasp of the Dead. Then we got the Brooch of Unquenchable Fury. And we got the tier 4 shoulders from Gruul. So I got some pretty nice gear from this on this mage. So yeah, I think I've got everything out of the way, and now it's time to queue up for a dungeon and see if I can actually do some decent DPS. So, here we go. that was the Arcane Frost Mage. Pretty nice if you ask me. Now, we're almost done with this video. And as always, I'm going to discuss the pros and cons. And I'm going to start off with the pros. The first one being you're doing great DPS. It's kind of an obvious one, but then again, it's definitely a pro, a big one. Because you saw my DPS on my own mage, you saw the DPS I was doing on this mage. It's just amazing. I definitely think that I'm able to keep up with a mage with the same amount of gear that is spec'd Deep Fire or Arcane Fire. So you're doing great DPS. I mean, that's just a really big plus for this spec. Number 2, the fact that you have less mana issues. I've rated as a fire mage before, and I also did a bunch of tests with this character just for fun as Deep Fire. And I'm just noticing that I can fight longer with the Arcane Frost spec. I'm able to do DPS a lot longer before I have to resort to my mana gems or potions or evocation. So it's definitely another pro. The fact that you have more durability as an Arcane Frost mage. So that's definitely a pro. The third one is a small one, but it's a pro in my opinion, and it's the fact that Frostbolt is a shorter cast time compared to Fireball. I mean, if you're doing trash and you have to kill a few mobs that die pretty fast, getting that Fireball up is pretty annoying because it takes 3 seconds and you're only able to do maybe 2 Fireballs until the target dies, so you're barely doing any DPS there. So with Frostbolt, that's less of an issue because it's only 2.5 seconds with 0 haste. So that's really nice. It's a very small pro, but then again, it is a pro nonetheless. Alright, moving on to the cons. The first one is the fact that it's a very spammy spec. I mean, you saw my rotation, it was pretty much Frostbolt, 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 and when it was up, I used Arcane Power, the Trinket, and Presence of Mind. And that's pretty much it. So, if I would try out this spec for a long time, I wouldn't be surprised that I would eventually get bored of it. Now, I've did some research here and there, and I've read that you can add Arcane Blast to your rotation, and that it actually will increase your DPS a bit more. But who knows? Maybe I'll check that out and make a video about that in the near future. But you can make your rotation a bit more interesting using that spell. However, Arcane Blast is very mana expensive, so you'll go out of mana faster. But yeah, it's very spammy, but you still have the option to add Arcane Blast to your rotation. So yeah, there we go. The second con is the fact that you're very gear dependent on this spec. I mean, if you're rolling around with a bunch of greens, then Arcane Frost is just not going to happen. You need a lot of spell damage to benefit from that, from the critical strike damage bonus talents from both Frost and the Arcane talent tree. So you need a fair amount of spell damage before you can really start stacking those big crits. And I have a random mage laying around on the Phoenix server with a bunch of greens, and I tried out this spec with that character as well and compared it to Deep Fire, and I was just doing way more DPS as Deep Fire. So for low geared mages, it's just not good. So you need a fair share of gear before you can actually do some decent DPS with this spec. So it is kind of gear dependent. So that's definitely a con. And the last one is a small one, and it's the fact that you're not putting 50% improved fire damage on the target. Now, obviously, if you can't do it, and there's probably another mage that can, however, if there's no other mage, then the firelocks are going to have a bad time. I mean, if you're a firelock, you want a mage in your group that can put 5 scourges on the target, so you'll do 50% more damage. You want that. And I know the fact that the Firelock spec is not exactly popular, and there's only a few, but it can still put a pretty big dent in their DPS. But then again, there's only a few Firelocks that I know of, so which is why it's a very small con, but it's still a con nonetheless. So there you go. Those are the pros and the cons. What is my final verdict about this spec? Well, I think it's amazing. And my mage is going AFK. I think it's amazing. I mean, you saw the DPS. I'm doing great DPS. I'm able to fight a lot longer compared to deep fire or anything. And yeah, it's just very viable. It's amazing. I love it. I love Arcane Frost. It's just great to see all those mages throwing around fireballs and arcane blasts, and you're just sitting there, spamming frostball. And it's really great. And I think I can definitely keep up with with mages that are spec deep fire, arcane frost, or arcane fire with this spec. So I think it's great. If you have a mage and you have some decent gear, try it out. It's really fun in PvE. So yeah, that is pretty much the end of this episode. Once again, as always, I want to thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you next time. I'm Hamsterwheel Gaming, and have a good one.